guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be tips and tricks for wearing yellow, specifically like that super popular mustard yellow for fall. I personally have some items in my wardrobe and planning on getting more, but also in eyeshadows and makeup. There have been a lot of palettes launched recently with that very warm, mustardy kind of yellow. And after posting a picture on Instagram recently where I was wearing one of my favorite mustard sweatshirts, one of you guys had said you were also excited about your mustard clothing item, but when you put it on, something didn't quite feel right, like your complexion looked off. And so knowing that this is probably going to be a popular color for a lot of people this fall and winter as well, thought I would just put a quick video together with some of my tips, the ways that I adapt and change my makeup routine on days when I know I'm going to be wearing a warmer palette, perhaps mustard base. So let's go ahead and dive in. First off is color correction. One of the first things I notice when I apply a warm yellow eyeshadow is that it brings out all of the cooler blues and purples depending on where it falls in that yellow spectrum. All of those colors brings them right out, especially in my under eye area. And this is a lesson I continuously have to learn, but instead of trying to overcorrect for that by layering on more foundation and risk looking like I'm wearing a lot of heavy foundation, try color correcting first. I always forget it, but when I remember it, it makes such a difference in the way my makeup wears and looks, and obviously how my skin looks when wearing colors that might be a little bit more challenging depending on your skin undertones. So today I have color corrected with this wheel from Mayron. It's one of my favorites because it's a comprehensive wheel in terms of having all of the different kinds of colors you might want for color correction, but also the texture of the product is super thin, so it really doesn't feel like you're wearing anything under your, like another heavy layer under your makeup. You can easily build this up in nice thin layers. It'll do the job of color correcting, but when you go to apply your foundation and then concealer, which is where I apply it, this is in my under eye area, you don't feel like it's just like another thick layer you're adding onto everything. So that's what I prefer, but there are a lot of other color correctors out there. Although it can be kind of hard to find one with the yellow, a lot of them contain this peachy color or a pink color, but not really the trio here, which are the colors that I need to correct for that blue that gets emphasized in my under eye area. And so what I do is I prefer to work with my finger when it comes to my eye area. I just find it helps products melt in so well and naturally looking in that space. And so I just take my finger and get a little bit of this yellow and maybe this peachy shade depending on where that yellow or warm tone lays on the color wheel, a mixture of those two, and start patting that in my under eye area, focusing specifically, hopefully you'll be able to see this in the camera, specifically in the innermost corner where I have the most pronounced blue discoloration. You'll also see that I canceled out some redness on my cheeks. This has nothing to do with wearing yellow, but while we were color correcting, I figured I would correct that too. I had some redness on my cheeks, and so I just took some of this green, popped it over top, and you can just see it took that redness down a teensy little bit to give me a little bit more of an even canvas under my foundation. The other thing I like to do is make sure I have some liner on my waterline. When I wear warmer shades on my lid and especially in my under eye area, I find it can emphasize the redness in my waterline and in my eyes as well. I tend to have naturally bloodshot looking eyes to begin with. They're drier, they tend to be irritated. I don't need anything else making them look more bloodshot than they already are. And so I just reach for a liner. It could be flesh toned, but I do tend to reach for something a little bit more opaque with some lasting power like a brown or a black, just to create that barrier, erase that redness in the waterline, and then that helps reduce any apparent increased redness in my eye area as well. And then the last tip I have is to not forget to change up your face makeup, which might be a no-brainer for a lot of you, but I say it because I have made this mistake before. When I wear a warmer eye, I like to adjust my blush warmer too. Again, this is probably a no-brainer for a lot of you guys. Rather than going for a cool berry, I go for more of a warm peach or orangey type blush. Today the one that I'm wearing is Essence Autumn Peach, appropriately named. But the other thing you can't forget to change is your bronzer, and this is what has tripped me up before. So I tend to use just the same, really the only time I ever change up my bronzer is if I'm wanting to use something new, go back to my collection, a new product has come out, etc. It's rarely motivated by the makeup look I have on my face until I wear a super warm eye like the one I'm wearing today. In which case, I will be able to tell immediately that I'm wearing a bronzer that is too cool for the look. And I do tend to gravitate towards cooler bronzers because I find that they look more natural on my skin tone. But when I wear a warmer eye look, I have got to grab a warmer bronzer. So don't forget to do that. The one that I am wearing today is this Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Talc Free light bronzer. They have incredibly long names, but this is the one that I am wearing. And you can see you don't have to go that much warmer, but by, you know, in comparison to the previous bronzer that I was using, it's warm enough. It's warm enough to get the job done. So you don't have to go like orange bronzer, just a hint of warmth to help complement your eyes. So those are all of my tips. I mean, it's not like I had a ton, just 3, but they are 3 really impactful tips. The ones that I live by anytime I want to wear a warmer or specifically mustard toned shade. So hopefully these help you out if you see yourself wearing a lot of this color in the upcoming months. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if I left any tips out, if you have tips that you love and live by when you wear these warmer shades, let us know down in the comments below because they can certainly help everyone. And besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys!